Hello and welcome to Backpage Pass, the football podcast with more back references than a chiropractic clinic. This is Gameweek 36 and I'm John O'Donnell, joined by Mark Corcoran, who looks a bit confused by my intro.
What's a back reference?
A reference from back.
Previous.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
We were not literally talking about backs.
Yes. No, we shouldn't do that because we'll lose listeners.
Well, Sir Mix-a-Lot got plenty of listeners for talking about back.
Did he?
Baby got back, man.
Of course. He doesn't lie in that song.
We're going to start with Andy Carroll going back to Newcastle in the 0-0 draw. And
what a place to start in the week that it's been.
Yeah.
A 0-0 draw.
Well, I just want to start with this one because we start with relegation and then moving on to Europe, and something else happened during the week. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, Andy Carroll went back, and I said last week he wouldn't, put his all into the game, and there was one chance. I'm almost certain that he deliberately missed it.
Nah.
You know the one I'm talking about, don't you?
Nah. No, I don't think he would have. I think he has to be professional.
No, it's Andy Carroll.
But what are you kind of saying that he's trying to elbow his way into a move there? Move back or turn home?
He's always said that would be his preferred destination, would be to go back.
But I don't think he fits into that team anymore.
Not so much with Cisse there. But still, I'd still rather him to Cisse, to be honest with you.
You'd rather him to Cisse?
Yeah. I know Cisse can do these one-off wonder goals, but I think you can build a team around Andy Carroll if you really try.
I don't think he's got the goals in him.
He does it the second half of the season, so what we do is we play Cisse. Oh no, he only scores in the second half of the season as well. We need Ba back. Because Ba scores the first half, and we have the other two score in the second half. It'll be all good.
I'd be still surprised if he missed on purpose. I think it's a good result for West Ham because they're kind of meh at the moment. Yeah. Did you see those pictures of their West Ham awards now?
No.
It's just Melody, Andy Carroll, and Melody, Kevin Nolan. Giving the thumbs up in the back of a taxi.
Those two should be kept apart.
So
I love the way the judge went, tell you how we'll solve this guy's problems. We'll make him go live with that alcoholic.
And we'll film it.
Oh, they should have made a reality show. Being Liverpool be arse. What was I going to say? The Cisse, the goal. That wasn't a goal. I think it was a goal, but I'm not mad at the referee because it was so close.
How on earth? I was watching Monday Night Football. How did they have the technology? You know that thing where they freeze they have the actual camera that the match was filmed on, right? And they freeze it just as the player is about to make the clearance. Mm-hmm. And then they go, whoa.
Whoosh.
And they bring the same camera around to on top.
Well,
but except not a camera because it's a computer. But how?
But it's not it's all CGI at the second. I think they have the pitch done off into a grid into thousands of tiny little squares.
All right.
So they would go right. It's on that square here. So if we map it from above, it would be there. But
they can't really on the same camera. They can't really map what square it is.
I know it's not 100% accurate. Funnily enough.
Yeah. It's
because even in that picture, I could tell. The best picture, which was from behind, which is rarely the best picture for these kind of things. But you could see the ball looked oblong, so it was between. You know what I mean? It picked up the ball. The camera picked up the ball twice in that still shot.
Yeah.
So it would be hard to pick one out.
Well, when they I don't know if you saw on Monday night, but they when they moved it around and did the whole switch thing, you're talking about the paint on the ball that has the eye kind of being on the line kind of thing, which they said technically. That means it's not a goal.
It's not a goal.
But I always think you have to allow for the ball to move on a little bit because by the time who's the defender?
Reed,
yes, makes his clearance. You have to be certain that the ball moves on a fraction, however small. The ball has moved on a fraction before, it kind of moves into his foot, if you know that kind of way. So I think when you have to allow for a little bit of leeway in that, so I think it probably should have been a goal, but it's impossible to tell.
Yeah. Moving on to West Brom and Wigan. I mean, damn it, West Brom! I give you one job. There's just no shape up front. It was like, is Lukaku the centre forward? Is Long the centre forward? One of them was playing on the wing, and blah, blah.
I told you to win. They were unlucky though.
Yeah, it was a really good game though. All the goals came from crosses. It was like bang, bang, bang.
Yeah,
I like that.
in fairness, Wigan did create other chances that Foster, I think, made some good saves.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, everyone was kind of doing. Oh, they're back doing it at their old tricks. Wigan, I think they've left it quite late this season.
A little too late, maybe.
A little too late. Good win for them. But that's what Wigan do, isn't it? Though they won at Arsenal famously last season. They beat Man United. I think they've just left it a bit late this season. But West Brom are kind of on their holidays as well, though.
Yeah.
I think Wigan kind of took advantage of that. When the going got tough in the second half, Wigan had the determination, whereas West Brom probably didn't.
I'll tell you what was the kicker in this one for me. It was McManaman scoring, because he really should have had a big ban for that challenge on Haidara a few weeks ago, and it's just like, you got the equaliser against Spurs, and now he's scoring against West Brom. If they stay up with those 4 points,
yeah, and
it's like a double.
I wonder if Newcastle went down, would there be a similar kind of, you know what I'm thinking is, you remember when Sheffield United went down under Warnock, and there was the whole controversy that West Ham should have had the points deduction for over Carlos Tevez, and by right they probably should have lost points, but then the FA kind of after the season were like, it's messy, let's not do that. And so they didn't give them the points ban, because I think everybody knows that guy should have got a ban, like McManaman. And just through technicalities he didn't get it. Yep. So I wonder what Newcastle be like here.
I don't think he'll get away with that, because it didn't even work for Sheffield, who were completely in the right.
Yeah. But, well, it worked from the point of view that West Ham had to pay like 5 or 6 million.
But it didn't keep them
it didn't do anything for Sheffield United, but they
wound up in League One 2 years later. It was like
they got a moral victory, but
keep your moral victory. I want to stay in the Premier League. Speaking of one and staying in the Premier League, Norwich 1, Aston Villa 2. Agbonlahor played great in this one.
Yeah, he's actually done. I think the Sunderland matches really picked him up again. Like he's performed very well in the last few weeks. How did this happen though? How are they the safest option?
They got up to 13th with that win.
Yeah,
13th.
How did this happen?
Down with the Villa all season. Yeah, 2 wins, and they're just blowing everybody out of the water.
I don't understand, because I was kind of I want Wigan to go down, because I don't have a massive problem with Martinez or even Wino. It's just
the lack of fans.
It's lack of fans, and it's lack of ambition to actually
invest.
I think if you're in a Premier League club, not that you want to win the league right now, but maybe sometime in 20 years you want to be the team that's competing for the league.
Yeah.
I don't even think Wigan's trophy, as Martinez said a couple of years ago, is staying up. They don't see it as a relegation fight. They see it as winning a trophy is staying up. So I kind of want them to go down, but I was kind of looking forward to the whole Wigan Villa game on the last day of the season to decide it.
They've taken that away.
Yeah, that's gone away now. Fair play to them though. I didn't see that coming, but they seem to have sorted it out, and at the same time they've knocked Norwich right back into it.
Yeah. Who also they just thought they were safe.
And now they're right back in there. It's funny, like before the last game week, there's about 8 teams that were kind of like, shit, how did this happen?
They're still from 11 down, I'm thinking.
I think Stoke are done. I think are okay now,
as of the
because
game.
their goal difference, I think.
Yeah.
I think a goal difference. It could come down to goal difference, but I don't think Wigan are going to win 2 games. So I think that's why they'll go down.
Yeah, but I was thinking, like, usually 40 points is enough to get you through. And a few weeks ago, everybody was saying, 30 odd will do you.
Yeah.
And it was like 42 or 43.
No, I don't think. I think 30 odd late 30s. I think. I don't think Wigan are going to win 2 games. They might win 1.
Mm-hmm.
I think they'll get 1 on a defeat. So I think a point for Newcastle will do for them. So
I'm still worried.
I know what you would be if you're in that position, but I do think now they might surprise us all. But I think maximum 3 points from Wigan. That brings them up to 38. So I think Newcastle would need a draw when really they can beat QPR. So
Fulham 2, Reading 4. Reading pulling an impressive performance out of the bag just when it's completely redundant.
yeah, well done, Reading. You idiots.
It wasn't even at home.
For your fans. That kind of put Fulham back into it though a bit.
Yeah, Fulham, 40 points.
Yeah, you know that kind of way.
Newcastle win, then they go ahead of Fulham if Fulham don't win.
Yeah, which you've no reason to believe if you're losing 2-4, 4-2 at home. So
To Reading.
And Adam LaFondra is saying, look, I'm a great goal scorer. Yeah, but you only do it every now and again.
You do it in spurts.
Yeah, really they need you to do it all the time. Well, I think of Reading, I think Pobredniak was a dread from signing.
Awful.
It seemed like a great idea at the time. Yeah.
No, but
But
no.
because they kind of really relied on him and he let them down badly.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
But no, you got to give him a supply line. And Jimmy Kebe, as I said, whenever he's been injured, they haven't played well. But when he's been fit, they've looked capable of competing.
yeah. I think they've a good chance though competing in the championship next season.
Yeah.
Arguably a better chance than the other two teams that will go down. Because they've got kind of championship quality players,
Yeah.
whereas you'll likely see maybe a QPR a lot of player exodus, and same with the probably Wigan. You'll probably see a few players going there.
Yeah, but the good ones anyway. The ones that the central players.
Yeah.
Swansea 0, Man City 0, and a draw was a fairly good result for Swansea, and a not too bad result for Switty.
Man, Switty.
It's like Smitty, but Switty.
Smitty.
What do you? It was just.
I just
bit
thought
of a
bit of a downer for finishes. Like there was some bad misses in that game. Jacko in particular at the end.
Yeah.
But it's sort of quite an irrelevance, an irrelevance of a game.
Yeah.
So, yeah, probably would have taken it.
And on to Europe. Tottenham 1, Southampton 0. Bale said he wouldn't celebrate if he scored. And then...
Yeah, but it was a worldie at the end of the game.
That's all his goals are worldies at the end of the game. He should be used to it by now.
Here he's trying to trademark that stupid heart celebration.
No, he isn't.
Apparently so. I only read the headline. I didn't read the piece.
Which newspaper?
I haven't a clue.
Mail. I'm going to say Mail.
Could well be the Mail. But I do go on that website. It could be with the Telegraph order.
Oh, well, I'd believe the Telegraph.
Well, I don't. Well, it wouldn't shock me if he was trying to. But it seems like, how could you possibly trademark making a heart out of your fingers?
Yeah, it's been done.
Yeah, and also their fingers. Everybody has them.
Everybody has a heart.
Yeah.
Except the QPR board.
Yeah, at least the nice people do anyway.
Moving on to the QPR board, they lost 0-1 to Arsenal, and it was a good game for 20 seconds.
Well, is that the quickest goal of the season?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that the quickest goal in many seasons?
No.
A good finish from Walcott. They did exactly what they needed to do because they played late on Saturday, so the pressure was on them after Spurs winning. So, yeah. QPR don't even care anymore, I don't think. So, once that went in... It was
when did they care?
Did you watch that the documentary?
Yeah, I did. Did you tell you what struck me was, I was watching it going, who's that? Who's that? Watching all the players going, I don't know who that is. Who's that? Who's that? Who's that? They've completely changed the team about 3 times in the 4 years since.
My favourite bit of it was when Warnock arrives at the club and he's just getting the tour, and he walks past the QPR dressing room where there's a sign on it that says winners only, and he's like, that's coming down, and he just keeps walking.
That's the 4-year plan, and everybody should go out and rent that. It's a rent thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is, it was brilliant.
Rent it. I think it's on the Guardian's website somewhere. But in this match, Walcott started out wide. Do you remember he was told he's going to start up front more? And then Giroud got injured. And well, there's no other strikers. Walcott's going to have to start up front. And then, No, yeah. I know he scored from the wing in 2 games in a row. But
that was before they tricked him into signing the contract.
Everybody like, oh no, once he signs his contract, he's going to stop playing. He's going to stop playing him up front.
Yeah. Well, and plus they're talking about a new, is it Capote? What's that guy's name from the French lad? There's a Jovetic from Fiorentina that they're going to buy as well.
I'd say Jovetic is a better bet.
There is a Capote though, or maybe I'm pronouncing that wrong.
Maybe.
You,
Do we have any idea what club?
I'm pretty sure it's in France, but I'm not sure. If you type that, I know how to spell it, I think. So if you want to type it into Google, not now.
I can't be arsed. Sunday, speaking of can't be arsed, Liverpool 0, Everton 0, and it was a snoozy affair altogether.
Very few good chances in the game.
Hmm.
Jamie Carragher's last derby didn't really turn out to be significant. Also, the last time that Steven Gerrard and Jamie Carragher played together.
Did one of them get banned?
No, Gerrard's getting shoulder surgery.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
That's unfortunate. He should have had a red card in this game.
For
There was just one really harsh tackle, and just everybody I was with just kind of went, yeah, if he didn't play for England, that's a red card. And then they were like, oh, no booking, no surprise there.
what do you think the England players get off?
Some of them do. He does, Rooney does.
Think Rooney does?
Yeah, he gets away with murder.
Like what?
Well, I have no specific examples right
Well,
now.
I have one that he elbowed the guy in Wigan, but he got a retrospective ban.
No, this is like tackles. You know what I mean? Like if they can go over the ball, or they can break somebody with their right down the ankle and they get away.
I'm trying to think of England players that got sent off recently. Well, Scholes never got away with anything.
Scholes never got a booking. He had some of the most. That lad.
Scholes has the most bookings and the most red cards.
Yeah, but he should have had a lot more.
It's
like they give him 2 before they book him. It's like, oh, okay, you little scamp.
Well,
You got a lot of rage because you're ginger.
let me think. Does Terry get sent off much? Or did he get sent off much?
Yeah, he's been sent off a fair few times, but that's given the ref no choice, really. This is like, if it was another player, they'd get sent off. Do you know what I mean? If it was Suarez, they'd be like, nah, you're gone, son.
Yeah.
But because it's Gerrard.
It's hard to argue because I don't have samples either way.
Yeah. What did you think?
Samples?
What did you
You
think
can't
of
claim that word.
I can make anything dirty. This Dan's goal that was disallowed. What did you think?
Just quickly to go. It's absolutely disgraceful that it wasn't.
Yeah, he didn't even foul it. I was like, everybody was like, no, see, this Dan fouled somebody. And Ichibi got the yellow, and everybody was like, no, it was an Ichibi. I was like, no, it was this Dan. I was like, no, he's not fouling anybody either.
No, it needs to be stood there, which he's perfectly entitled to do. And Reina, like he
He
couldn't even
jumped on the ground.
Yeah, he couldn't get a head of steam to run into somebody. Like it wasn't even running into his own defender; he just fell into him.
Flopped over.
But wasn't there controversy at the end of the first one? Were Everton given a controversial goal, or were Liverpool given a controversial goal?
Oh, I can't
Oh
remember.
no, Liverpool were robbed of a goal at the end for offside that wasn't offside.
Really? Oh, yeah.
So maybe that evens itself out. But no, that was a perfectly good goal, and I hate seeing stuff like that. Why are the goalkeepers so protected? I can understand it from a kind of a health and safety point of view. If a goalkeeper comes out to claim a ball and he's in the air and he gets creased out of it, like he's concentrating on something else, so he can't protect himself properly. That's fair enough. But like forwards should be able to crowd a goalkeeper out and stop him from going out to claim a ball.
Mm-hmm.
In my opinion,
As long as you don't use your hands, it's all good.
yeah. Well, obviously there's issues with obstruction and stuff like that, but I think there should be. It shouldn't be as extreme as it is at the moment. There shouldn't be like the defender. If the defender he ran into was the forward, that's not a foul. He was the one that came into him. So no, I think it's just gone a bit mad.
Yeah, it has. Speaking of mad, Man United 0, Chelsea 1, and I love David Luiz.
Why?
I thought that was hilarious. Because everybody kind of went, oh, look at him laughing because he knows what he did. I think he was laughing because he was trying to wind Raphael up, and he wound Raphael up, and Raphael kicked him, and he just took it with good humour. He was after getting a belt across the back of his legs.
I don't think it was that bad a kick though.
Yeah,
No, I'm not saying it wasn't a red card.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I don't think he hurt him though.
Yeah, I know, but this is it. You know when you wind your mates up, you get a reaction out of them, and then you find that funny. I think that's what happened. Whereas the press just seemed to instantly go, oh, God.
Well, I think if I was a Chelsea fan, I'd be embarrassed by that. But the other point I want to make is that there was a theory that because he was right down the corner, that fans were in his face, and he just kind of laughed at them, which I'm not sure if that's the case. It's the kind of thing where he was on his side and he's like, it reminded me a bit of Busquets when Busquets kind of peeped out from his hands. There was just a real dishonesty about, I thought. Because he was lying on the ground and he kind of smiles and you think, oh, fair enough, get up then. And then he rolls over and pretends he's injured and he smiles again. And there's something just very, like you said a couple of nights ago when we were talking, I hate football, I love football. It's stuff like that. I mean, makes it, I hate this game. There's just people like you in it, and you know the kind of way. Whereas Ray Wilkins, former Chelsea coach, would have been there when Louise was there.
Mm-hmm. Would he?
I think he would.
Briefly,
yeah. Was saying that on Sky that Louise is always at that thing where he elbows.
I didn't see an elbow. I saw him throwing his shoulder out.
He goes like that. You can see it. The first one is, or is it the second one that's worse than the first one?
Also, Raphael slaps him in the back and gives him a little dig as well.
In the same motion?
Yeah.
Well,
no. Louise throws his body out and then keeps moving. He's between Raphael and the body, and Raphael just slaps him on the back.
Yeah.
And starts to have a go. He can't get near the ball, and he just runs up and kicks him then. Yeah,
well, no, again, I'm not trying to justify the kick. Straight red card, that's fine. But Wilkins was saying, like, he can't be getting away with those elbows. That's what Wilkins' point was, that he shouldn't be doing that. He'll get in trouble. But I think from a Chelsea point of view, and I could just go back to saying what I was going to say about being embarrassed if I was a Chelsea fan. Raphael should be, being in the press, people saying that was a disgrace, lost the head, can't do that, young defender, naive, all that kind of stuff. Instead, what you have in the press is Chelsea idiot defender laughing when he shouldn't have been. So the focus, all the negative press goes back onto Chelsea, and as if they needed any more of that. That kind of way?
Yeah.
So that's how I looked at it. But again, it didn't really affect the win of the game. United played poorly, and Chelsea got a jammy goal at the end. And there wasn't really. I thought a draw probably would have been a fair result. A 0-0 draw.
Yeah, but a lot of people pointed the finger at Wayne Rooney for Chelsea's goal. Didn't track back. Spent more time giving out to the referee.
Yeah, I didn't think that was a foul. Kind of Ramirez.
Yeah, Ramirez had a great tackle.
Yeah, I can see how Rooney might have thought it was a foul because Ramirez was behind him and he kind of went to kick the ball and he didn't know Ramirez was there.
But even if the referees missed a foul, get up, run back, and then give out. Don't stand there.
Yeah, no, I understand that. I wouldn't blame him for the goal though. It was a poor clearance, I think by Michael Carrick, which I more look at fault, but like when it's a deflected shot and the goalkeeper gets a hand on it and it just trickles into the net, like you just have to, these things happen, I suppose, late in games. Disappointing.
Monday, Sunderland 1, Stoke 1. I loved Stoke when they scored, and then I hated them again. You can see this.
That's nice, John. That was your evening, so enough. Another shocking tackle in that match as well. Yeah,
is Paolo, his whole thing was, I'm going to get these players hyped up, and he's got them overhyped, and now they're just going through
two reds in a row, yeah.
2 reds in a row.
I think that's a result that kind of almost suits both teams. Because if Sunderland had lost, it was kind of Wigan they were much more catchable for Wigan. But I think a draw kind of they can have the whole mentality of 10 men came back, got something out of the game, whereas Stoke are effectively safe.
Yeah.
So I think both teams got something out of that.
Tuesday, Man City 1, West Brom 0, and I didn't even realise this game had happened. And then I saw the score. Dzeko got the goal. Did you see it?
Didn't see it, no. Didn't see it, but again, City just kind of winded down the clock till their FA
Nobody
Cup
cares,
final.
City. Nobody
till their FA Cup final, which, by the way, because of Man United, everybody's forgotten about.
Take that, Switty. Wigan 2, Swansea 3. And as the ball was falling to Espinosa, I thought he's going to hit this. And then he hit it. I thought, no, it's grand. He barely got a hold of it. And then it went in. It was one of the worst strikes that's ended up with a goal that I've ever seen.
Yeah. I was surprised that Swansea came back just because they're kind of on their break, kind of way, and they didn't really put in much in the last few weeks. Fair enough, a draw at City is a good result. But fair play to them coming back because there some good goals in this match. Yeah. Apart from that one. But there were some good goals.
Yeah, no, the rest of the goals were all good. I was just like they had a fullback playing wing forward, and I don't know. There's some striker who's more of a midfielder, and it was all very bleh for the first hour. But then they just seemed to go, I'm sick of losing, and just came back and then won. And I think the third goal is more of an opportunist goal than.
It's a match though that I know I didn't think Wigan were going to win it. Said that in the last couple of weeks, but it's a match they kind of did need to win.
Yeah.
And it
And it was
would
very winnable.
much more serious, much more winnable when you had the lead.
Mm-hmm.
Much more serious situation for the other teams around them had they won that match, even drawn it.
Newcastle were in the bottom 3 at half
Yeah.
time. Chelsea 2, Tottenham 2. Adebayor's goal was great, but that was all Spurs did for the first hour.
Well, Adebayor did, I think, for the 90 minutes.
Oh, well, he did that little back heel for Sigurdsson's goal as well.
I just think, goal and assist on the pace of it.
Yeah, I know.
Pretty good day.
Statistically, very good.
Yeah, but I don't think he offers enough, or has offered enough this season. But great finish.
That's where I'd say we are supposed to be looking to.
Yeah, but I wonder is the gig up now for Spurs? I kind of get the feeling there is a twist, but also that it's still going to end up the same way it is.
I think they have the easiest run in now as well.
Spurs.
Arsenal have the easiest run in, and then Spurs.
But Spurs, I don't think can catch Chelsea.
Oh, it's also brilliant.
Yeah. I think Chelsea at Villa, there's no guarantees there. But Spurs at Stoke, there's no guarantees there. But then Arsenal at Newcastle on the last day of the season, there's no guarantees there.
It's all over the shop.
So yeah, but I think it probably will end up the way it is now. Arsenal fourth, Chelsea third.
Benitez said he was happy with the point. Is that because it's more less 1 point that they gained, but 2 that Spurs didn't get?
Because I think it's Spurs won that. Everyone was kind of on a level playing field, whereas it's definitely there's a hierarchy now of Chelsea 1, Arsenal 2, Spurs 3. So, whereas it wouldn't have been over for Chelsea by any means, but they would have been kind of right back in the mix then, whereas they have a bit of breathing space now.
Yes.
The point was kind of an insurance policy for them.
Well, we're going to give you some breathing space now, Mr. Listener. You wait right there.
Or Mrs. Listener.
Or Mrs. We'll be back in a second. Hello and welcome back to Backpage Pass, and we're going to do a very quick little thing about Saturday because apparently there's an FA Cup final. There's been an FA Cup this year. We haven't really been paying any attention to it.
I missed the days when that was relevant.
Yeah.
I think when United win it again, it'll be relevant.
Yeah. This won't be as one-sided as the League Cup, but I can't see Wigan doing well at all.
This could easily be as one-sided as the League Cup. No, I think there'll be 2 or 3 goals in this. I don't even anticipate a great match because City haven't even been playing well in recent weeks, and it's hard to kind of pick it up. Wigan will come out as kind of, when are we ever going to be here again? Let's give it our best, but their minds has to be on the final 2 games of trying to stay up. Martinez
has said he's going to focus more on survival. Does that mean the likes of McCarthy and MacArthur and McManaman won't get a cup final, which they probably deserve? Yeah,
it's interesting though because they will undoubtedly be pissed off if they don't play in that FA Cup final, and you don't want to piss your players off going into 2 crucial games. So it's difficult to keep them all happy, but I think they should probably start with them and then take your crucial players off after an hour if you're 2 or 3 down.
Yeah.
But City to win, mate. I'm gonna go 3-1.
3-1, yeah, something along those lines. It'll be comfortable. And then the league game on Saturday is Aston Villa versus Chelsea, and it all came together for Villa in the last few weeks. But this is a bigger test, and they'll be looking to win this one for Stan Petrov, who retired today.
Yeah, that's an extra motivation. I kind of feel that they've been playing for him at times all throughout the year because his squad number is 19 or what was it?
Yeah.
So it was the 19
every time the fans pod.
So they've never forgotten about him. I wouldn't say the players have forgotten about him either.
Well, he's still captain until this morning. He was anyway.
Yeah. That'll be an extra motivation. But I think it could be a difficult game for Chelsea. They'll either win it narrowly or I think it could be a draw.
Chelsea won the home game against Villa 8-0. So there's that.
Yeah, things are a bit different now because Villa have a bit of momentum behind them, and I think the going to Villa Park is never easy, so I think it'll be quite a tight game.
Well, that was the shortest part you'll ever hear on Backpage Pass. We're going to move ahead in a second to Sunday and beyond. Hello and welcome back to Backpage Pass. This is part 3. Sunday. What's going to happen on Sunday? I've lost my place in the script. Sunday. Stoke versus Tottenham. I'd say, it's a contrast in style, but Spurs have becoming slowly more direct all season.
Yeah. So it could be a pretty direct game.
Yeah. It'll just be clear to Crouch and then clear to Bale.
If Spurs are dropping points at Wigan, there's no reason to think that they won't drop them at Stoke. So I could see a draw in this game as well. A draw or the customary late Gareth Bale winner.
As you do.
Yeah.
Everton versus West Ham. We'll discuss Moyes in a bit, but who do you think would be a good replacement? I heard Martinez mentioned.
I heard, Martinez apparently odds has gone out a lot.
Okay.
I don't think he'd be a great replacement.
No, either do I, but he was up there.
Yeah, defensively he has a lot to prove, I think.
Yeah.
Wigan side are laughable defensively.
Yeah.
I don't think I think he's pretty overrated manager, Martinez. I think he has to. I think there's another step for him from Wigan to a bigger club like
Everton. Just as much as Moyes needs, people need to see Moyes with money. People need to see Martinez with some money, as opposed to what he's been getting at Wigan. Which is we're going to sell your best player every year, and you can't buy anybody.
Yeah. I've heard Phil Neville.
No.
Talksport saying put a cheeky €5 on Phil Neville.
No.
If Phil Neville gets it, I don't have an.
He'd get them relegated.
Well, I've no reason to believe he would. I don't know if he has his coaching badges. Mm-hmm. What I don't like about it is, like, there's so many other managers that have done their time down lower leagues and stuff like that, and this lad kind of just hops in. You know, that kind of like. I don't have a big problem with Phil Neville. In fact, I like him, but I don't think that job is for him right now.
Roy Keane, would you give the Roy Keane?
No. I think Roy Keane there's more in him as a manager, but I don't think that's the right fit for him.
Too high for him.
I'm not sure if it's too high. I just don't think it's a good fit. I don't.
They wouldn't have any money to spend.
That's kind of one of the things. He hasn't done a great job at Ipswich, where he didn't have a lot of resources.
They sold Walters. They sold all his best players.
Yeah. Well, I'm just kind of thinking as well that when he went to Sunderland, he had the opportunity to bring a lot of players in, and they rose up like a balloon. But at Ipswich, there wasn't really the same opportunities, and they kind of stagnated. So I'm not sure what the right fit is for Keane, but I don't think Everton is it. Nottingham Forest might actually be a good fit for him.
Yeah,
they've got money.
What do you think of Everton's players' response will be? Will they be positive or negative to the fact that Moyes is abandoning them?
Abandoning is a tough word, though, isn't it? I don't see a positive response. I don't think they're going to play for him. You know, I don't think there's a.
I like the way he broke it. He walked in and kind of went, "Sorry, lads, I'm off to Chelsea."
How do you mean?
Apparently he walked into the dressing room and said, "Sorry, lads, I'm off to Chelsea." When they all knew, when they were all going, "Oh, he's going to go to United. He's going to go to United. He's going to walk in. I'm off to Chelsea."
Really, just as a joke? I didn't hear that. No, I don't think there'll be any, anger between. I just think there'll be a sense of winding down and. I wouldn't be surprised if there's a sense of apprehension of who's going to come in after. Is my place safe and all that kind of thing. Who would be apparently they're linked with the Porto manager as well, who I don't know an awful lot about. But if you can bring in a guy like that, I think.
No.
You don't think?
I think Everton are too English. The squad is too English to be bringing in a continental manager.
What about Laudrup?
Laudrup, yeah. Well, he's had experience in England, but. I moving from Swansea to Everton isn't a big step up.
It's a bit lateral. It's a small bit lateral.
Mm.
Everton are a bigger club, but where they are right now,
I think Swansea are on their way up, whereas Ken Wright's not going to invest. Fulham versus Liverpool. Fulham on 40 points, and people are saying they aren't too safe this year. What do you reckon?
I think they're going to be fine due to the fact that games running out. Like if Wigan had another 5 games, they might catch them.
Mm-hmm.
But seeing as it's only 2, I think Fulham will be okay. Fulham versus Liverpool kind of has a bit of a draw written all over that one because Liverpool have lost out in Gerrard for the rest of the season. They don't have Suarez. Sturridge didn't do much in the last game. Kind of can see that being a bit of a dour game.
Norwich West Brom.
He says before it turns out to be 6-0 Liverpool. One or the other.
Norwich, another team that looked concrete and are now looking over their shoulder there against West Brom.
Norwich need some points badly.
Yeah,
they're gonna. You look at them and you don't think they are going to get points. So they should have got something out of the Villa game. But again, West Brom are their hearts in it anymore?
Well, West Brom can't finish higher than 8th. So
yeah, I can see Norwich getting a point there maybe, but it's maybe getting a point. It is difficult to see them picking up points at the moment, but I think they can get something out of that game. Surely, if Wigan can, they can.
QPR versus Newcastle, and I'm hoping to God QPR don't suddenly develop, sense of guilt over over taking the money and not playing well at all.
What about Harry Redknapp was linked with Newcastle at one point in his career? How did that one go? Did Newcastle turn him down?
No, he said he wouldn't go to Newcastle. I forget why. I know Spurs were floating around. He was at Portsmouth, and Spurs' job was in the air, but
he didn't want to move all the way up there.
No.
Yeah.
No, it was nothing to do with moving. He thought Harry Redknapp thought the club was a bit shady. Harry Redknapp thought the club was a bit shady.
I think Newcastle are going to win that. I don't think Newcastle are away in this one, aren't they?
Yep.
So I still think they will win it. I think if you don't win that, even if you draw it, you'll be and ultimately will be safe. But if you don't win it, it's definitely shaky boots time. Yeah. If squeaky bum time is no more, shaky boots time this can be the new one.
My message to QPR would be, just because it's your last game in the Premier League, probably ever.
Second last.
At home. Last home game in the Premier League, probably ever.
Oh, you don't think they'll be back?
I think they'll stop being a club within 5 years, I reckon.
No, I don't know about that. They have some rich lunatics running the club.
Yeah, but they're just going to get sick of pumping their money in and just go, screw this, I'm off, and then nobody's going to want it.
Yeah, but I think they'll sell those players, reduce the wage bill, and they'll plateau as a League One club. Where they belong, really.
Really, yeah. It's a horrible stadium. Sunderland versus Southampton. Who do you reckon will get sent off for Sunderland this time?
Or Southampton. They've had some red cards on us.
It's going to be a feisty game.
Who will get sent off for... If Bardsley plays, that's a good shout.
It's always a good shout, yeah.
Yeah.
McLean, it isn't out of his...
He's had a poor season.
Mm.
Did you hear about Aidan McGeady, talking of Irish wingers?
No, what happened?
A 6-game ban.
For what?
Yeah, he got sent off. Then he made some obscene... I think he got sent off for violent conduct. Then he made an obscene gesture as he was leaving the pitch, and then he smashed up the dressing room. Classy.
Home or away?
I think... I'm not sure.
Oh, look that up. Oh, God, I can't wait to read
6-game ban anyway. Doesn't seem like enough.
It seems like 2 of those things. You should have had another 2 or 3 games on there.
Yeah, but just McLean has had a poor season. So is he a red card kind of guy?
Oh yeah,
is he?
I've seen him lose his temper. You've seen him on Twitter.
Yeah, the guy should not have a phone let alone Twitter. I've said quite a lot of a draw, so I think Southampton are going to win that. I don't think Sunderland will win that game. Man
United versus Swansea. Fergie's last home game. This is going to be 15-0 or something, isn't it?
To Swansea?
To United. They're just going to go mad.
No, I don't think. I think there's a good chance Swansea are going to win this game.
What?
I think of a similar. I try to think of similar. I know that you can't come up with the same, but I was trying to think of similar matches United played in the past. Think of a couple of years ago when we went to collect our medals at home to West Ham, and West Ham won 1-0. Think of a couple of years ago when we played the 50th anniversary of the Air disaster, and they played in they're just plain red shirts, and we lost at home to City. The players just didn't perform. The whole occasion got to them. I think it's because there's not really much riding on the game. They're still going to get their medals after. I don't think I would never say that my team are going to lose, but they're not going to thump Swansea. I wouldn't think. I think if Swansea were trying to stay up, I could see them win that match. But I think maybe the occasion will put them off a bit as well. But I think a narrow United win or possibly a draw. So apparently this Ferguson guy is leaving. Yeah. Moyes is coming in. Would you, if you'd been given the choice of Moyes or Mourinho? I don't know, to be honest. I never really wanted Mourinho at Man United. I think a lot of people think about Mourinho in a very positive light because he wins things. Because I would love the whole winning things thing. He wins things and then fucks off. Yeah. So it's not like he wins things and then drags it down. There's so many flipping flopping in my mind over this. I think there's overall the senses of excitement. A lot of people don't understand what it is to be a United fan. Ferguson's been managing there since before I was born, So we don't really know what this like. I'm looking at the website today, the club's website, and you see that the main story is United announced new manager, which has never been on the. Yeah,
I follow Newcastle. It's every few months.
It was, since there have been websites, that has never been on the Man United website.
Yeah.
You know, that kind of way. So there's a sense of excitement, but over Moyes, there are a lot of questions. A lot of questions have to be answered. I don't have a problem with him per se, but the spending money that we talked about earlier, how does he deal with egos? How will he deal with European football? There's a lot of questions like that. His away record obviously isn't great at the bigger clubs. His record between Everton and Liverpool isn't great. And that was a local derby where everybody says form goes out the window and things like that. He hasn't won the trophies. I think there are a lot of question marks over him, but definitely willing to give him the chance to do it. But there's a couple of little things that I've been thinking about that I kind of question. And the kind of people have been talking about Wayne Rooney's first autobiography.
And how he libelled Moyes and then Moyes sued him successfully.
Yes. But the one thing I saw quoted was Wayne Rooney threw a bucket of water over a toilet door onto Moyes.
Mm-hmm.
And in the book it says Moisey never found out. Sorry, Moisey. You can never imagine somebody throwing a bucket of water over Alex Ferguson and living to tell the tale. That's one thing I kind of noticed. And will he have the same? Will he have
was new then?
I understand that. But when Ferguson was new at Man United, wouldn't happen. Might have happened, but.
But then Paul McGrath got sent out. He got sold straight away.
You know, like it would have been the end of that player's career.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe he needs the time to build the aura up. The other thing is, did you see on Sky Sports News when he went for his meeting and he came out and ran to the car?
No.
He came out of the meeting and there's a journalist and a cameraman waiting there, and the journalist's like, "Are you going to be the next manager of Man United, David?" And he starts running, and they start running after him, and he jumps into the car, and they ask him again, and they close the door and speed off.
That's it should have had a car in the stadium back door.
This was in London, so it was at Everton. It was an official Everton meeting, so it's probably an Everton thing. But for me now, like, this might seem harsh, the Manchester United manager runs from nobody. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You don't run from. If you want to tell him to fuck off, then you tell him to fuck off, and the club will be behind you. But you don't run from him. Any challenge, you don't run for it. So I think even little things like that are sending out the wrong message. He does need time, and I think he'll probably be given time. But if I was David Moyes, your first competitive match is going to be the Community Shield against Man City. Probably that's a big one to win. That'll be his first trophy to win as a manager. The second thing, win the Carling Cup, because you want to kind of give off what's the word, the impression that everything's the same, trophies are still coming in, nothing has really changed here, because you have to remember Ferguson, while brilliant and all, he's his best ever, he's in that argument, he had his flaws and everything, but he's going to be remembered as a number of pegs higher than he actually was, because people don't, as Ferguson said a couple of weeks ago, nostalgia does funny things to people. People don't remember the full story.
The early years where he was.
The early years, people say if Moyes crashes out in the group stages of the Champions League next season, there'll be calls for his head.
But Ferguson will still be there.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if the next manager of Man United was Alex Ferguson.
Well, I could see a Scholes thing happening all over again. You take over there, and I'll step upstairs.
It wouldn't surprise me. But the point I'm trying to make is, 2 seasons ago we crashed out the Champions League in the group stages. But if Moyes does it, he doesn't have the bank of credit that Ferguson has, so he'll be remembered on this pedestal that really Moyes will probably never be able to reach. But there is excitement over it. I've kind of thinking it's a bit like when your favourite band releases their next album. And you kind of think, I kind of know this album isn't going to be as good as the last album, which was, 26 track greatest hits compilation. But I'm still excited to see the new new stuff and see how it goes.
Yeah, I can't see them winning the league next year, but I think given time,
too many things have come in at the wrong time.
Mourinho
going to Chelsea. If Ferguson was stayed on, I'd have had Chelsea as favourites to win the league.
Mm-hmm.
I think Man City are going to regroup, and I can see them being the two that really go for it. Not that United can have that doesn't necessarily mean United will have a bad season. Like if United won a domestic cup double, or
you can't have a bad season with Van Persie.
I think there's a lot of questions though. I don't think this has been handled particularly well. I always kind of wanted it to go similarly to how Bayern have done it this year. Announce it in January and say, right, Ferguson's gone. Here's the new manager. A couple of months later, right, we're just signed Mario Götze from our rivals. So all the bad news, all the worry is softened by a big signing. Whereas at the moment, what's coming out now is Moyes is signed. Can you work with Wayne Rooney? Did Wayne Rooney ask to leave? Is everything going to be okay when he leaves? Should we sell him to Chelsea? If we do, we're affecting the league next year. Should we sell him to Bayern? If we do, he's going to work pretty well with Guardiola potentially. We're affecting the European Cup for the next few years. I would have liked to have seen, with David Moyes is coming in. Also, here's Falcao. He's going to be coming in, something like that.
Then you've got Zaha on his way, and his brother's getting arrested and stuff.
But I don't think United were in control of this. I know you had a theory that Ferguson might have been pushed.
I don't think he was pushed, but I think he was nudged, and he kind of went, right, I have to go, so I'll go now. I think if he'd had time to think about it, which he didn't because they were floating on the stock market, they have to give the decision.
But the stock market thing is interesting because legally they should have announced it at 2:30 and it came out at 9.
Mm-hmm.
So I wonder what the regulations there were. But I think it makes you double think or a number of things this season. Like I heard Clive Tilsley talking about him signing Van Persie, and he thought it was very odd because Ferguson over the last maybe 10 years, he doesn't sign the guy who's going to be the quick fix. He signs the guy who's going to add to the team and will improve over years to come. So it seemed to Tilsley that he wanted something done, and he wanted something done now.
Mm-hmm.
I also think of Ferguson meeting Guardiola over Christmas time in New York, and everybody said, Ferguson said to him, when I go, will you take over? And that was of course denied. What I wonder is that what happened? Did United have a plan similar to what Bayern plan was?
Yeah, they knew it was going to be a year, so
yeah,
retire your manager and
get ready. But I wonder, was that a blow to Ferguson?
I don't think Ferguson had plans of retiring then, because I think if they did, then Pep would have chosen United over Bayern Munich.
Well, I don't know if he would, because Bayern is a pretty
it is, but I think he'd prefer England, and I think he'd prefer Man United.
But you think of the Madrid game, you think of how devastated he was after that.
Mm-hmm. It
seemed like it was the last opportunity for him. It was speculated at that time. Another thing I noticed actually a couple of weeks ago when we played Stoke, when Van Persie clattered into him, I got a really weird feeling like that. I was like, it was kind of like, oh,
like if your granddad.
Yeah, like you're, and you kind of think about that, and you think he's the manager of a football club. Like he's 71. You shouldn't be worrying about him in that kind of manner. But I don't think he was pushed. I'd love to know when he decided that it was right time. I'd love to know how long Moyes has been in line for this, because it can't be a coincidence that his contract runs out and then he joins Man United. But I think I'm going on too long. But then
that was 10 minutes all about fair.
Yeah, well, I think he justifies it though, doesn't he?
Meh. Take your 26. Was it 20? Well, how many leagues?
How many league trophies?
Yeah.
The Ferguson one, 13.
Yeah, take your 13 and stick them up your arse. Arsenal versus Wigan on Tuesday.
Sticking them up your Arsenal.
Come on, Arsenal. Don't Arsenal out on me, Arsenal.
Well, who do you want to win that match?
Arsenal. Arsenal versus Wigan. You want Arsenal to win. As a Newcastle fan.
Well, do you?
Yes.
Yeah, of course. I think Arsenal will win that match. But yeah, no. I think if Arsenal win that match, it bodes well for Newcastle, because, well, Well, it bodes well for Newcastle from the point of view that Wigan won't stay up. But it also bodes well for Newcastle, I think, going into the last day of the season. Arsenal might become a little bit complacent. Like
they might take the foot off the pedal a bit.
Wigan
beat Arsenal at not quite this stage of the season last season, but it was late April.
Yeah, but surely the God he'll have their house in order. You never know
it's
with
Arsenal.
Yeah, there is a twist though. I think there's a twist in this Champions League race.
The Champions League race and the relegation race. I think. Reading versus Man City. I'd like to see Mancini throw all the young lads in.
Like who?
Pantimiligone,
who's going to leave the club apparently at the end of the season.
Is he?
Yeah.
I'm going to miss him.
He said the FA Cup final is going to be his last game, and the debate was, well, why would Mancini play you now? Like why don't you play the goalkeeper that's going to stay here? Like,
well, they have like Guidetti and Razak, and I mean, after the cup match, there's nothing. There's just nothing.
Yeah. It's been nothing for a while though. For them.
They have all these players. The players who are out on loan will be coming back because the lower leagues are over.
Yeah.
Throw someone in.
Yeah.
See what happens.
Yeah.
Do you think Reading will become a yo-yo club like West Brom and Middlesbrough? Like few years up, few years down, few years up, few years down.
I don't know about yo-yo. I don't know if they'll come straight back. I think they're in a decent position to compete in the Championship next year. I don't know if they'll come straight back up because it's a tough league. But I suppose the second yo of the yo-yo. I don't think it's difficult to get up and stay up. So I don't know. Like they are owned by a billionaire, so they should have a good chance.
Yeah.
But it could be a few years before you see them again.
Oh, I'll miss Reading. No, I won't. They were crap.
They were in some pretty high-scoring games, though.
I'll miss Ian Hart. That's who I'll miss.
Yeah.
They were in the cup mostly. They could still be in the cup. Okay, well, the end of an era.
No, the podcast will be back next week.
Ferguson.
Yeah. It is a pretty sad day. Pretty.
Everybody else is happy.
Well, I don't know. See, I think you are, but.
Well, me specifically, it doesn't affect at all.
No, but it's a big loss for the league, though. I think.
Yeah.
It won't be the same. Definitely won't be the same. But anyway,
let's end on that.
Yeah.
Facebook, YouTube. We're on Twitter.
No, we're not. We personally are on Twitter.
Yeah.
The show isn't on Twitter.
No, but we are on Twitter.
We should get it and think for Twitter.
Oh, no. It's more stuff to do. Okay. Bye. Ian, have you got so much to say?
But it's not going to come out, not going to be. Like, it's all in my brain, and I just wish I could throw my brain at you. And then you can understand everything.
You've got 4 channels of talk coming out at once.
Yeah.
I'm going to say one.
But I don't know which one is best. Like I just... all become RTE1, please. So I can formulate you.
Hello, welcome to Backpage Pass, Game Week 36. No, that's not